Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News, and it's trivia night. Karen, you ready for this? These are too easy. I got most of them, which means that they're easy. I went to a restaurant the other night and had them, and I said, "Can I get this list?" And they said, "Sure." And I told them what I do, and they said, they'll watch tonight and see what our viewers come up with, so I got their list. Um, and I had to go look it up. I had to look up the different questions or the answers and word them the right way. Uh, so boy, I think you're going to have fun. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. One hit wonders, 70s. I did all for the 70s. Everybody knows the 70s for some reason. And then we got, oh boy, I took my comments out. Um, then we have ads, jingles, the ads you see on TV. And so, Karen, how's your week going? How's that baby? Is she walking? I mean, I know we're close. Is she walking now? And get her some good walking shoes. I know sometimes good stiff tennis shoes help. They always say get these walking shoes, those little white things. Uh, I don't know what they were thinking. To me, it never worked. Good stiff tennis shoes. The babies walk really quick. All right. Um, so Karen, are they walking? Is she walking yet? Now, one of my first news reports tonight is mayor downplays youth crime, but reaffirms Chicago migrant sanctuaries. But at the same time, we have got mayors for sanctuary cities and city council complaining, the public complaining, um, fire chiefs complaining, ambulance companies complaining. It's all the people that has to go rescue. The rescue units in our cities are now complaining that this is just too much. Uh, uh, Migrants are setting other migrants' tents and structures on fire. They're setting up, if it's a cardboard box, it's poof. For some reason, I don't know if it's the migrants coming in don't like other migrants having a cardboard box, or it doesn't really say whether it's a long-standing homeless person with a box, but they're saying it's the migrants doing this. Now, New York City Council, she came forward and she says enough is enough, and she is against the mayor saying that we just need more money. More money for what? They're not doing anything with the money, she says. Oh, really? What about Chicago? I've looked at funding going into Chicago and California and uh, Oregon, Seattle, Denver, or Colorado. None of the money seems to be going to the homeless crisis. Now, they have built little shacks. They're not even tiny homes. They're like a little, it's what they have in China that they line up. And it's like you go in, it's a bed, and that's it. And is this what they're wasting our taxpayer money on? And they want more of it for this. And then they have restrictions. You can only stay for so long, or you have to have a job when you get in. Why are they doing requirements? The other thing is lowering the credit scores so you can be able to buy a house, so everyone can own a house. Well, you know what it does? It tax on interest rates, and we're seeing it. Those that are trying to buy a home with good credit or those refinancing are looking at an increase of 2 to 4% increase of interest, 4 point. Which, if you had one a 3.5, now you're looking at 7.5, 8. Now, I remember, you remember the big subprime scam? I think this is it. I fell under the subprime loan scam, but I didn't fall for what they had to offer. They kept trying to push me to something I couldn't afford, maybe a little bit more, a little bit more. And see, I was smart enough and I figured it out. I figured out what my payments would be. It was more than I could do. But not everybody went for that. They said, "Oh, we could have 20,000 more. We could get the better homes," and they fell into it and they lost their homes. It was, they say, one of the biggest scams in history for the housing market. I made it through, but not everybody did. Now we got this again. Is this another subprime loan housing scam? But this time it's the government. Don't fall for it, folks. Don't give up your 3-point interest to refinance. Wait, just wait a couple years, see what happens. Can you afford a 7.0 interest on your house loan to refinance? And we're paying for those that got, I feel for those that can't get a home with a bad credit score. I really do. But you can't just let anybody, because they are the ones that falter. Because when times get tough, then they don't pay it, then they lose their homes. Uh, I think it's just a big scam. So be careful with it. And I got this from Kudlow. I listened to Kudlow, and he's off of Fox Business. And I didn't get it off just one of his shows. I got it off many, many of them. So I pulled a bunch this morning and thought about it and listened to it. And, this is what I came up with. And me going through the experience, it was rough. My payments were almost $800 a month. And then they don't tell you got to refinance within so many years. Well, I was pre-warned, and I started looking. And before my loan, where it would have went way up, would have went to from 7 to like 11. I refinanced and I got my interest rate at 5. So it dropped my payments. I went from 700 to 500, and I could afford my house payment. So be very careful. Check with your banker. Talk to your banker. Um, hmm, I got this warning thing for StreamYard. Oh well, I'm going to ignore it. Um, go to your branch manager or his secretary and sit down and talk to him. Find out what you can afford. Don't fall for this, please, folks. I don't want to see many people losing their homes. All right, so we're going to go. This one, everybody's talking about this a little bit. The judge hands Trump a win. It says stolen election claims protected by presidential immunity. Now, Trump isn't everybody's cup of tea. I understand that within the conservative world, and we are conservative and constitutionalists here. I take in Democrats, but Democrats got to understand, folks, that I'm showing you the truth in what's going on with our government. Now, the judge hands Trump the win. Now, this could be a good thing. And the Pennsylvania state judge ruled Monday that the county election worker cannot sue former Trump, Donald Trump, for statements he made in office questioning the integrity of the 2020 election. James Savage, a voting machine supervisor in Delaware, Pennsylvania, outside of Philadelphia, filed 2 lawsuits against Trump, arguing statements Trump made via Twitter in November. And he said it was fraud. No, basically it wasn't, according to not only Breitbart, but the judge. Because now get this, if the judge would have sided with that, folks, how many of us said that we didn't like the election? Would that be charging all of us, or just Trump saying it? They got to really look at freedom of speech. and it's something that we cherish along with the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. And, it's really odd that the Democrats will throw in our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, but they never look at the 25th Amendment that with our own president that should be tested to see if he is physically and mentally capable of taking care of this country. We need a strong leader right now, folks. We really do. We need someone strong. We need someone that will step in and tell these countries to back off. Well, I like that. Presidents have a bully pulpit, says William. Yeah. Um, I seen things, and I even had my own friends that were standing there right with people that were showing them their cell phones. Now, you're not supposed to do your cell phones in the ballot things, and they were showing that they would pick Trump and it would flip to Biden. It did the same thing in 2016. It was worse, they said, in 2016. You would not believe the Twitter and the YouTube that was coming across saying that. So, it was a glitch. It was a glitch, folks. But what happened with that? And then we seen it for ourselves. I even showed it on my show of ballots being dumped into these ballot boxes. And then I told you about the lady that looked into the tallies. I got to really watch myself here because YouTube don't like what the subject I'm on, and it's been banned. So I have to be careful. Let's see if I'm going to see if my trivia comes up in between now and there we. Oh, looky there! I got trivia tonight. I last week I had to read it. Well, I don't know about reading it. Karen kept having me repeat it. I'm not good at repeating. Huh, Karen? Well, unless it's Tony. I'll repeat myself with Tony. Go away. Okay, so it's Friday. Happy Friday, folks. And it's hot in a lot of places, and it's so everybody stay in the cool and let's play some trivia. I want to get on to the first one. Now, like I told everybody, it's going to be one hit wonders and jingles, TV jingles. Lynn Anderson sang about roses. Name the song. But these are too easy. William's gonna. Well, you know what? Mary, stay in here. I'm gonna put my bets on Mary and Linda tonight. A glitch isn't intentional. No, the glitch isn't with me. It's something I'm being told I've been hacked and they put a virus into my show. And I just have to find it. And I've had someone look at it twice now. And so, all right. You can win on this. Too much pressure. All right. So Lynn Anderson sang a song about roses. Name the song. Let's see if I can come up with a chorus without. I beg your pardon. I never promised you a. Yeah. What did you? Never promised you a what? So. Let's see if you guys get it. All right. Text messages given to William, this is if it wouldn't have happened just now, I would have kept this for Wednesday or let William take this on Monday, but he might look into this a little bit farther. Text messages given to the FBI. Chinese wanted Biden family to name to help acquire U.S. energy assets. Now there's also one of two Navy members arrested on suspicion of sending military secrets to China. Now, get this. Well, what got me was it was text messages and emails that they caught them on. Now, are we getting really, is our military members getting sick of looking at the Biden family selling stuff to China. Now, we know the Clintons did it back in the 80s under Chinagate, but everybody's been doing it since, even Obama, the Obama years, and Biden as vice president going into the Biden years. Um, they have all done it. So is it an okay thing for these political elite to do it? But if two Navy members do it, is it wrong? In my book, it's wrong for in all parts. It's wrong in all parts, and they should be what is it? Court-martialed, William? Court-martialed is what they call it. Okay. Uh, all right. So we only got one Linda in here. I hope is Linda G in here? Let me know. All right. Let's get the answer to this. Now, hopefully, I don't go over today. I'm trying to get it within the hour for the shows. The answer is rose garden. The answer is rose garden. Let's go to the next question. Uh, Seasons of the Sun. It topped the charts, but it was once considered um, a one-hit wonder in 1970. But for this North of the Border Act, who was it? Seasons of the Sun. Do you remember who did it? Now, I knew because it was one of the big hits in California. But do we know? Do we know who this is? And I can't even give you song uh, tidbits because it doesn't say who did it. So, who did the song "Season in the Sun" in 1974? So, text messages now we find out that show Chinese energy that struck a controversial deal in 2017. They began a pursuit of a relationship with the future first family back in 2015, maybe even earlier when he was still vice president, and hoping to seize the name of one of the Americans' most famous political dynasty to provide cover for the ambitious plan to buy up energy assets inside the United States. Now, this is part of the documents that were, I'm not sure if it was in the garage, folks, or if it was somewhere else. But this is the kind of documents and stuff that Joe Biden had taken. So what he took as a senator and what he took as a vice president, as well as president, we need to know how much of it was China stuff to China that we should have known about, that he gave away or sold, not to mention the business dealings. Um, Saudi Arabia, boy, I might get through the news quick today. Oil production cuts for the third straight month, 1 million barrels a day. Uh, they are basically going to do cuts, and they're going to continue, they say. The announcement made by the government Ministry of Energy that they could cut 1 million barrels a day until the United States caves. They want to reduce to 9 million barrels a month. And this is after a conversation they had with Joe Biden. So Joe Biden talks to them, and then all of a sudden they're cutting, and they want nothing to do with them. How much are they selling to the rest of the world that are for fossil fuels? Way more than they're going to sell the United States. All right, let's see. Anybody? Let's see. Got to go up a little bit. Okay. All right, let's go to the answer and go on to the next question. So if you're playing for the first time or watching for the first time, put your answers in the comments, whether you're on Facebook or you're here at YouTube. If not, just throw the thumbs up that you know it. All right, the answer is Terry Jacks. Answer is Terry Jacks. I think that, yeah, is that the only song he did that hit it big? I think it is. I think that's why this was considered a one-hit wonder. But then, like I said, 1974 it became a hit. All right, on to the next one. Minnie Riperton shot to the top of the charts with this song. Now, these are songs that were one-hit wonders, and the artist never went beyond this one big hit. So, and this one here, even my granddaughter loves this song. Uh, you know, when I used to drive around with the kids in the car, when I could actually drive, um, I play the oldies station, and so and they would play 70s. I'm like, 70s isn't old stuff. They were playing all the disco stuff. Oh, come on, Bee Gees. Ah, no Bee Gees. Come on, Bee Gees isn't old. It's just awful. Yeah, did we disco? Is disco back? How come they haven't? If they're going to bring back bell bottoms, why didn't they bring back disco? Because it's because it was really bad. All right, so oh boy, Karen, you gonna just win this thing tonight? Gotta, Linda, are you lost in this? Is the 70s too far or too soon? Because I know people in the 90s or nowadays, you guys can get one over on the kiddos if you're watching with the kids tonight. You guys can really get the kiddos on this one. Uh, Mary ought to be with me doing the trivia. Yeah, I'm with you, Mary. My mind goes blank, and when it's a name or a number, forget it. All right, so the answer. Let's get the answer. Answer is loving you. It's easy because you're beautiful. There you go. Loving you. Okay, Randy Newman, A Song of Short. Now, this one here, I had no clue. This is going to be a hard one. Randy Newman, it's A Song of Short. This was a popular song of something short in the 1970s. Now, we were talking about the little people in the first show. That might give you a little bit of hint of the popular song in the 70s about little people. Well, maybe I said too much. I'm going to go back to doing news because I'll just give you all the answer. Um, Senator Feinstein, they have now put power of attorney to her daughter, but they're not going to let her give up her Senate seat. Now, I'm from California, folks, so I called up a bunch of friends of mine out there. And I said, what's going on with Feinstein? And they said, her family wants her to get out of politics and be with them because she's pretty old and want her to spend time with her family and grandkids, great grandkids. And her daughter now has been put in charge of her because of how bad her cognitive and her medical conditions are. Um, but you know what? When it came to the Senate seat, the Democrats refusing to let her go. Who's doing this? My thing is probably Nancy Pelosi. She controls everybody, everything. I mean, if you can, they say, my girls that work at the Capitol said you can almost see her going office to office to office all day. And she's drunk by noon. Uh, and I think she has had almost a dozen, this is Nancy Pelosi, at least a dozen calls for her being drunk at work and had her removed. So why is she? I don't know. They won't let her out, Mary. I don't. I think it's Nancy Pelosi, and that's what I'm hearing from my girls at the Capitol. That this is well, who voted for her? We don't know. Now get this. She won the last election with 110% of the vote. How do you get 110? Nancy Pelosi did the same thing. She got 110%. How do you go over 100? What 10% of what? Of who? Who got added? I've never heard of winning by 110%. I think Adam Schiff won with that too. I haven't really looked because I was just mind boggled with Pelosi and Feinstein with that number. Why do they call? I don't know. Or Chuck Schumer, yeah. Nobody has nobody. It's their districts, and they say their districts love them. The people in their districts. So that's why you got to blame the people there for voting for them. And but then when you go and you start calling around, because you can get a call list for people. It's just basically they sell you the white pages. And you can call and you can ask if they voted for him or not. And some people will say, it's none of your business. My vote is personal or private, or they'll tell you. But you can't find very many people to vote for these guys. I'm lost. I'm really lost on this. All right. Did anybody get this? This um, this answer. Um, well, you know what, Mary? You're the only one I could see on the list that got this right. I don't know. Y'all let me know if you typed in. But I think Mary's the only one that got this trivia question. And the answer is short people. Short people. You guys remember that song? I used to tease a friend of mine with that song. He was kind of short. He was like 4'12". So I would sing it to him all the time. Um, Mary, when I get done with that special report, and the next one's on Monday, when I get done with the report, you guys are going to know what's going on in this country and around the globe. You guys just got to watch. And I hear it every day. Mary has just said it. What the hell is going on? What is going on with this world? Well, I'm going to expose it. And it's been a plan that you guys will realize since the 60s. It maybe even, I even say the Democrats had the plan for this in the 1800s to have a party rule. And I think that's what they want. They want a one party rule. And they don't want an election. They don't want a debate. All right, let's go on to the next one. Oh, boy. Then the show's half over. Boy, it's going quick. Who did the unusual instrumental song Popcorn? Name the group that did the song Popcorn. Yeah, we all remember that song. There was a few of them that they had music, and the other one was it Tiny Dancer or Ballerina Dancer? It was a very beautiful song. But this one here was all instrumental, and it was a song called Popcorn. So who did it? All right. Senator Feinstein. Oh, boy. Um, um, previously released, I should have done this on the other show. Previously unreleased song by the Beatles, part of an upcoming Red and Blue re-release album. This is being done by the last surviving Beatles. They want to bring what was better known as the Red Album of 1967. They had a White Album. If early reports are accurate, the albums will not only contain tracks omitted from the initial releases, but previously unrehearsed songs. Now and then, a John Lennon demo, and quite a few others. So these are going to be, if you're a big Beatle fan, this album or this soundtrack that they're going to release will have all the unreleased Beatle songs on it. So run out and get a hold of it. Key he D. Huh? Does nobody knows who did the song Popcorn? Oh boy. Karen, you go tell the popcorn Adam because once they see the answer, they're gonna go like, oh yeah, yeah, okay. Karen, you don't even have a clue who did it, really? And the answer is the group was called Hot Butter. Hot Butter. Now, does it sound familiar? All right, nobody got that one. I hope I was stumping you. I thought today was going to be too easy. Which Carol Burnett regular had a hit the night the lights went out in Georgia? And they say one hit wonders. When it first come out, everybody balked it. They were like, "Oh no, she's a wannabe. She's but and it became popular because what came out at the same time was Cher's song Cherokee People, and it overran it. So, do you remember, Mary? You didn't realize Hot Butter did that one, huh? And you're going like, really, man, man, yeah, Hot Butter. So, which Carol Burnett regular had we all know who this is. Everybody is going to get this one. Um, which Carol Burnett regular had a hit with the night the lights went out in Georgia? The night that they hung an innocent man. All right, so we're going to go on. Uh, Gladys Knight. Answer is Vicki Lawrence. Vicki Lawrence. All right, the next one. A Broadway show was responsible for the top 20 hit in 1972. From which show was Day by Day cast recorded and taken into a hit that year? I had no clue, folks. You might have to read it a few times. A Broadway show was responsible for this top hit, 20 hit in 1972, from which the show was the Day by Day cast recorded, taken, and made into a hit that year. Huh. I like that whole Beatle thing. Um, this one here kind of goes with what I was telling you at the beginning of the show with the people, the homeless that were the homeless and migrants setting their boxes on fire or of starting fires. California is a dumpster fire. Yeah, its citizens are terrorized by not only crime and elected officials enabling terrorists. And what I mean by that, they're finding that some of these fires, even the little fires, whether it's out in the middle of a field, a dumpster fire, or even these cardboard boxes, they're finding these are terrorists that's been wanted in other countries for trying to get rid of overpopulation. And so listen, not just the fires, but it's the crime wave. The crime wave has increased so bad that everybody's afraid to even go out and eat after dark in California in these big cities. They're even afraid to go through a drive-through because they're afraid when they pull away, they're going to get robbed. The stop signs, traffic lights, people walking down the street. This is something we have never seen in history. We've never seen so many homeless and so much crime. A lot of us grew up of 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. all the way to now, and we have never seen crime like this. I, yeah, to me, I'm not going to sit still. I would say something. Maybe that's why I don't live in California. But I would say something. I'd trip them on the way out, or push them over. Who cares? Push them into a display rack. Those hurt. I'm not meaning to be um, sound aggressive or mean, but when is California finally going to do something? Let's see. We got chorus line. We got hair. And I bet William isn't in there, so I don't think he knows. And the answer is Godspell. Now it makes sense, huh? You're like, oh yeah, that's right. I said I was with Karen. I thought it was Air, and then I thought no, there was that other one. What was the other one? I knew it wasn't Jesus Christ Superstar because remember that came out too in the 70s. But no, it was Godspell. All right, on to the next one. I think I'm getting you guys. Edison Lighthouse, early spring of 1970, brought not only flowers that grow, but also a song. Now, this one here, I knew the name. I've been to a lot of concerts, and I knew uh, that I had heard this name before. But if you're not a big fan of them and from the 70s, you wouldn't really know this song. But I believe it's even been in television jingles. Uh, Edison Lighthouse, early spring in 1970, brought not only flowers that grow, but also a song. So see, the place I went for trivia, that did trivia, they have some good ones. And folks, it's not just bars that do this. This was a place. It did have a bar, but the bar wouldn't even have anybody sitting at it. This was a restaurant that did pizza, and so like Monday nights they have trivia, and what they do is they give you a coupon for free pepperoni pizza when you come back. Um, does it count? I lived in Jakarta, Indonesia in that time period. I don't know. Uh, all right. Does anybody know this one? Edison Lighthouse. You guys know the song, and I can't to the life of me. I'm trying to think of um, the any of the words. Um, oh, I think maybe an herb would be a good key to the song. All right. I guess I'm going to have to let you guys do it. Once you hear it, it's going to pop up and the song's going to be stuck in your head forever tonight. All right. What was it? Love grows where my rosemary goes. Remember that one? Remember, yeah, rosemary's an herb. A herb. An herb. Yes. You guys remember that one? Yeah, now it's all in your head, huh? Now, I swear you guys are going to hear this song all night long. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good song. And get this, Karen, it was a one-hit wonder. All these songs were one-hit wonder that made it as a big hit, but then it fell off the charts very quickly. Slow to get there, it hit, and then it fell off the charts. And then these people really weren't well known. But not only that, but they never did a really good hit song after that. All right, onwards. Yeah, Rosemary Goes. All right, Starland Vocal Band occupied the top of the charts in the summer of 1976. And oh yeah, boy, there's a Karen. There's a typo. I knew I'd make one in. Uh, the afternoon of what? Name the whole title. Starland Vocal Band occupied the top charts in the summer of 1976. And I thought this came out in like 78 or 79. But no, the summer of 76. An afternoon of what? Yeah. All right. Let's get back to, I'll get the last bit of news in here. Um, um, if you guys listen to um, uh, Mark Levin lately, whether it's his daytime podcast or on the radio or even on Friday with uh, Lifetime News or something on Fox. Well, he is encouraging Trump team to seek an emergency hearing in front of the Superior Court. Now, I think this is a great idea. I never thought about it to take all of what he's being charged with and move it to and ask for an emergency hearing before the Supreme Court. I think this is one of the greatest ideas I've heard. And I didn't know it was legal, so I looked it up. And you can. If you feel that you cannot possibly get a fair hearing in a state, they say in a city, a county, a state, a city or a state, that you have the right to a hearing to get the Supreme, for it to go directly to the Supreme Courts. So I think this is what he needs to do. Well, why not? Because, uh, we're only going to hear they're going to get him. They're going to get him. So why not just do a hearing and take it and pass up this verdict and take it right to the Supreme Court, and then he could have more here. He could have more appeals to work with. And nobody knows with the, oh, wait a minute. We got, yeah, a few of you got it. All right. So let's get the answer to this. And we're all, boy, the hour's going by so quick. Um, Afternoon delight. Afternoon delight was the answer. All right. Starting in the 1960s. Okay, now this here, now we're moving into the jingles, the product jingle. So now move away from the songs, folks. Where it's time for the commercial TV jingles. Starting in the 1960s, which product was billed as the astronaut's drink? Everybody ought to know this one. Everybody ought to know this one. Some of these are easy, and then I had to go look for the hard ones. And then when I started pulling the hard ones, I was like, I don't know. I have no clue. All right, so now Harris, she's been running around the United States and she's been having rallies. It's to improve herself, but it's also to push Bidenomics. Well, she decided to throw out, we shouldn't restrict abortion even after the point the baby has been born. What? Are they going to put an age limit on this? Are we going to, after the baby's born? Okay, now I know up to the time it was born, and that they would give it the choice. But she's talking after the baby's been born, and kind of she was coming up with the idea that when you took it home, you could take it back. So what if you don't like your baby the first 24 hours? You could take it back and have it aborted. Yikes! How many newborn moms that's having problems with breastfeeding are going to do this? Let's not make that rule. Or when are they going to move it to how many years? Is it, what if you don't like your 10-year-old? Can you go have him aborted? How far is going to be too far for this liberal bunch, like AOC and T-Lob and the rest of them, these radicals? When is it going to be too old to abort kids? It just seems like it keeps getting further and further into their livelihood. Yeah, to me, isn't it murder? And the thing is she keeps repeating it. And this is our vice president. What? Oh boy. All right. Uh, I'm going to move on with get this answer. So when is it too old? When is the government going to stop? And the answer is Tang. Tang is the astronaut drink. All right. Think back to the 1970s for the name of this hair care product. It's called Gee, Your Hair Smells. What's the next word of the title? Gee, your hair smells. All right, Mary, get in here. Yeah, I think you know some of these. You just got to remember the TV jingles. All right, gee, your hair smells. Yes. Uh, uh, I didn't think about it until I seen the article on Mark Meadows. Where'd he go? Everybody knows that Mark Meadows have disappeared. Eh, Well, you know what? He is cooperating with the Democrats, and um, this AG and DA going after Trump. He is decided like Mike Pence. Mike Pence is another one. So Mark Meadows, you guys remember him? I wondered what happened to him. He just disappeared, and I thought, why isn't he on any TV show, news shows anymore? Well, come to find out, he's working with the Democrats and the DA so that he is not going to get in trouble. Now, I'm not saying he turned on him. I'm just saying he did this to stay out of trouble. All right. Oops. My pen shut. Um, I only use shampoo. Yeah. Okay. So think back to the 1970s. Gee, your hair smells. And the answer is terrific. Gee, your hair smells terrific. Well, that was a short lived product. All right. Which product claimed it was clean as a whistle? Which product claimed it was as clean as a whistle? Yeah, see, these were hard. I was like lost on a lot of these. So, uh, boy, it's really going to, if you don't know your products or your commercials, um, um, you wouldn't know that what the product is. Um, our Globa's chief of staff. Uh, yeah, Mark Meadows was chief of staff at the White House. Now, you know what I want to know. This came out early on and this was something that was thrown in Trump's face, was that Mike Pence's best friend, him and his wife's best friend, a couple, but this guy was caught and charged for pornography, child porn. And they tried to cover it all up because he was uh, uh, Donald Trump's pick for vice president. So it was like, don't look over there. Well, maybe we should have. I mean, what do you guys think on that? Did you guys really know about it? And what do you think? So now, he's Mike Pence is kind of went against Trump. But what about Mike Pence? What did he know about his friend that had these pictures? All right, anybody know the clean is a whistle? Make a jab at it, real quick. And the answer is Irish Spring. Irish Spring, clean as a whistle. The whole clue was the whistle. Nobody got that one. If you got caught squeezing the Charmin, who would you have to look out for? What was his name? Mr. What? Now, everybody mispronounces it, and they either get it right or they get it wrong. So if you got don't squeeze a Charmin, who would you have to look out for? Who would you have to look out for? Now, the White House and Milley claims that Russia is looking into buy North Korea munitions now. They said they're running low, and this is a so they were able to fight Ukraine. And of course, they have been um, um, conversing with North Korean leader or not Jinping, Kim Jong Un and Putin. And of course, they sent their ambassador over there to have this big meeting. And I believe this is what was discussed. It doesn't say, so I had to get a hold of my Ukrainian friend and also the ones that are in Crimea. And I said, what do you think on this? And their responses was, they have been, people don't realize that Putin has set it up for lots, not just one or two meetings, but lots of meetings with Kim Jong Un's top military officials. So, of course, it goes with the war that when you start getting low, you look to those that could have what you need. The same as Ukraine is looking to us for munitions. I was just surprised he didn't go to China, but he went to North Korea. Now, what they heard was that he tried Iran first, and Iran is leery due to the fact of a possible war with Israel. So, all right, how many of you got the um, got the answer to the Charmin? Don't squeeze the Charmin was done by who? Oh yeah. Now, some people thought it was Whipple and some thought Whiffle, according to when I went to the other night when I watched this. And a lot of people said Whiffle, like a wiffle ball, I think. And so it I kind of second guessed myself, going, was it Whipple or Whiffle? And I had to keep running it through my head, and I never could decide. And then by then they gave the answer, and I didn't do well. I didn't do well that night for the same trivia. All the easy ones, oh yeah, I got it. But some of these other ones, this one here, I second guessed myself. So, Mr. Whipple, don't squeeze the Charmin. All right. And what question does Verizon ad guy keep repeating over and over and over again? And it became a big hit. This is something that, like the hump day with the camels. But this Verizon guy. He kept repeating it over and over, and it became a big hit and a big slogan. This is definitely not no one hit wonder. Well, we're not doing that. We're on to TV ads. All right. Um, I want to finish up. I only have a few left, and um, Russia now conducting strikes just 200 yards from NATO's European borders. Um, so now they're close enough. William, I'd have to ask William his opinion on that one because just a few hundred yards. So do they inch closer? Do they go over the border? So William, take a look at it over the weekend on Monday show that you have. Maybe look into it and find out, or see. Well, let's see what happens over the weekend, because Putin has been known to get right up close and personal and then back off. So I'm going to say let's look at the next 24 to 72 hours to find out what his intentions are. If he's starting to go towards or into European countries, we know that that's not allowed. It could start a war. All right. Does anybody Oh, I think everybody knows this one. All right. Let's get this one. And the answer is, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, off to the next one. We'll probably finish out the show with the trivia. Go home happy. The ad slogan of this video rental store is "Go home happy." Now, we used to go rent movies from the video place. It was mainly VHS, then it went to CDs. And some of these stores are still open, some aren't. But go home happy. The ad slogan for this rental store is "A border is a border." That's right. And if we're going to be so a pissy, pardon my French, about them going over into a NATO country, Putin that is, then how come we're allowing um, the illegals to cross our border without a wall? But it seems like no matter what other country it is, if some other country is going over their borders, then they want the United States to do something. And most of the time, we do go over and do something, but not now, not with our own border. So yeah, so uh, we're now looking at protecting all the borders with Ukraine, and they still the question was put forth to Congress with one of their witnesses, and I'm yet to find it. I just heard about it and I ran it through Google, and it is a true story um, of um, if we are what when are we going to see the list or where the money is being sent to Ukraine? Where's the itemized list of who's getting what, what's being spent where, and how much of it is going to Zelensky for the country, or even aid? And nope, they're not going to give it out. All right, so go home happy. Of course, we all know what it is. And the answer is Blockbuster. Answer is Blockbuster. Complete this ad slogan. Nobody doesn't like what? Nobody doesn't like. This should be an easy. I knew this one. I mean, I was jumping up and down at the pizza joint. I know this one. Yeah, 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 yeah. Nobody doesn't like what? You just got to think about it. Even Mary, you should have this one. Mary and Linda ought to know this one. Nobody doesn't like what? No, it's not baloney. Yeah, not Mikey. It's not the baloney and Mikey. So, no, nobody doesn't like what? Karen's thinking. I can hear it. What is it, Karen? Do you know? And the answer is Sara Lee. Nobody doesn't like Sara Lee. I knew that one, and it popped up soon as in my head as soon as they said it. So, boy, well, it's an ad campaign, Karen. So it would be an ad, and with the way it had it looking, you'd have to finish up the slogan. Nobody doesn't like Sara Lee. All right, finish the phrase. I'd walk a mile for a what? This was the 60s, back when these things were legal on TV. I can't even give you a hint. I can't even give you a hint because it would give the answer away. I'd walk a mile for Oh yeah, I think everybody's going to get this one. I think everybody's going to get this one. Yeah. So, uh, so on Monday we do have part two, folks, coming up from the show last night from the special report, folks. This is very serious. I've investigated a lot of this for a very long time. Some new, some old, some you already knew, some things you didn't know. Tell your family and friends about it. All right. Um, and the answer, and the answer is the answer is camel. The answer is camel. Be careful how you use it applies to what product. See, these are hard, huh? Be careful how you use it applies to what product. And this could mean anything. And I heard that when I was like, if somebody gets this one, I'm going to throw popcorn. Is it just to me? It did. I couldn't even put a brand, an item, a product, anything to this one. So you got the camel, yeah. So what is it? Be careful how you use it. Applies to what product? I think this is too hard. This one here is too hard. What do you think, Karen? Karen and William are just like neck and neck on this one, kind of. Larry, don't look at Larry's page. Well, I don't know if Larry's even watching. Um, don't look at um Beth's page. I don't know if she's even watching. I called her last night and she couldn't answer the phone. She says she's playing craps. And I said, well, you know what? Don't let no poo on the table and no farts under. And you know what? Facebook censored my words, poo and fart. I didn't know you weren't allowed to say that. They kept changing it to other words. Don't you just love it when you got something in there and they change the word and it just definitely makes no sense. All right, be careful how you use it applies to what product. Now, you see, I thought bleach too, William. Uh, did we miss it? Did I not have it? I didn't have it. Oh boy, and I can't even remember what it was, folks. Now y'all are really stumped. I might have to go back and find it. Did it give it and I didn't see it? No. Oh boy. Boy, that's a big typo, huh? We're on to the next. I'm sorry, folks. Um, and I can't remember what it was. I should write all my answers down. And I cannot for the life of me think of what it was. All right. Be careful how you use it applies to what product? A short-lived aftershave. Now that it could be this is the actual question and I just doubled it. I'm not real sure. But it just kind of sounds like it's the rest of the question. So be careful how you use it applies to what product? A short-lived aftershave. There you go. I bet you that's what it is. I You're not allowed to say uh, thug either. You know what? Why are they censoring us? Uh, uh, so many of the woke, and they're proud to be woke, and they say they're woke, are so offended by the littlest thing. Like pull my finger. That has to do with this kind of the same thing I was just talking about. But they will fall apart and almost cry that you have a kid do that. They say it's perverted. What? No. All right. Anybody know this one? A skin bracer. It's an old one, and I know once you guys see the answer, and it might be one of the last few. Uh, you're gonna remember it. You're gonna remember it. I guess it's a one-hit aftershave, short-lived. High karate. Do you remember that aftershave? William, did you use high karate? How many men out there use that in the 70s? High karate. And did it make you kick higher? Is I want to know. And the next one, which mint, I think this is the last one. Which mint was two mints and one? Remember the click click? Two mints and one. So high karate. Karen, do you remember that? Susan? Mary, do you guys remember high karate? Did you buy it for your dad for Christmas? I want to know. Do the thumbs up, folks. We're going to get lots of thumbs up today. Which mint was two mints in one? And this is the last question. And boy, it's going to be a great weekend. Get out and go see the Sound of Freedom. Or go to the movies. Hit a matinee early in the morning with the kids when it's cool and it's cheaper and you can enjoy a movie, whether it's you and the family or whether it's a date night, but have fun with it. Never heard of it before. High karate. Oh, yeah, Old Spice is one, but high karate was a 70s short, like they said, short lived aftershave. So, which mint was two mints in one? Let's find out. The answer is certs. The answer is certs. Remember, certs was one of them 70s commercials that was two mints in one. So we do have a winner. I think she knows who it is. All right. We had Susan with 6, William with 7. We had Linda with 2, Mary with 3, and Karen, we say way to go with 10. Congratulations, Karen, for this week's trivia. See, you know what it was, is you took William's pencil away. He would have had it. I know it. And then you covered Mary's eyes and you tripped Linda. We know it. Yep. So, anyway, throw the popcorn. Have a great weekend. And of course, we will be back on Monday with William and me. And of course, the part 2 of the special report. You guys have a wonderful weekend. And you didn't think you got, see, everybody keeps saying that I'm adding to their scores. I don't think so. I bet Mary didn't think she got 3. Um, I think Susan could have done way better. So, fill the churches. Yeah, that's something we haven't said in a very long time because they're the newest attack. The churches, the religions are all going to be attacked. You know, I'm not big on Muslims, folks, but they don't even need to mess with the Muslims, the Jehovah Witnesses, the Mormons, or any of them. Even though we don't agree with um, the way they are preaching, it's still a religion. And I think I must sneeze. Okay, no, I've been sneezing really bad today. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's the weather, and the pollen isn't even that bad, but my eyes are burning really bad, and I've been sneezing and sneezing. So, all right. So let's not go against the churches, no matter who they are, because you know the Uyghurs. We may not have agreed with their religion and what they had to say, but it's no right to put them in a re-education camp. And you know they are starting to turn the FEMA prisons into, they call them living facilities for migrants, but they're also calling them, what they call it, a re-education. Um, um, oh boy, I can't even remember what it was. I kept telling everybody I couldn't remember the name, and then I came up with it. It's a re-education center, and to some people they're sending them there for punishment. They're even talking pedophiles, sending them to a re-education center. And they're old. They're not old, but they're the FEMA camps that we never did anything with. All right, folks. You guys subscribe and hit the like button. Tell your friends about trivia. This is a fun night. Uh, one of, hey, let's talk about movies and music and whatever else we can bring up in trivia. Even high karate. Yeah, no one knew about high karate. Nobody knew that one. Yeah, or certs, really. Certs, 2 mints in 1. All right. You folks have a wonderful Friday night, and we will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. God bless. Oops.